All right. So, yeah, I'll wait a moment because I know there's going to be some people kind of coming in and out. Um, but we'll see how long we actually stay in here. Fingers crossed. Shh. All right. I'm going to get started. Yeah, my moderator team here, I guess, can help drop that link in periodically.
Yep.
So yeah, I did have to go. I know the Bernie meme is dead at this point, but I can't let it go.
Oh no! This is gonna go for the rest of the year. You're good.
I hope so. I hope I could put Bernie in so many places. All right, so a little bit about myself. My name is Corey Mathias. I'm an instructional technology TOSA in the Garden Grove Unified School District. So basically, teacher on special assignment, if you're not familiar with TOSA. I'm a teacher, but I don't have students. So my job is PD all day, every day with that. So along with that, I'm a Google certified trainer. I like collecting all sorts of, I don't know what I give those badges and stuff. I am on Twitter as EdTech Antics. That's probably the easiest way to get a hold of me. If you ever follow me, you will know Big Frickin' Packets. John's been kind of mentioning it throughout the day. That's something that we've kind of come up with that's fun. And so EdTech Antics kind of fits my personality well. Hopefully we'll have a good time. We'll laugh a bit. We will talk digital feedback at some point and kind of look and see how that's working for all of us. All right. Okay. Anybody else always forget to share their sound when they go in on Zoom? All right. So I figured nobody better to get us in the mindset of feedback than this guy right here.
Can you crank it up, Corey?
We can't hear anything.
Yeah, it's very, very quiet.
Are we going to hear the idiot sandwich soundbite?
Bacon branch weave. The only weave you need is on your granddad's head. Come on, seriously? What are you doing? Max, really? What are you doing? Wellington trees. Clean those hands. Clean hands, clean food. Wellington tree. What has happened in 2020? Oh no. Oh no. No, come on. A gold star. That's what you get for being a teacher's pet. Kaylin, can you help me out, please? Seriously? Kaylin! What's happened to Max?
I don't know about you, but a Wagyu beef Wellington sounds amazing. But hopefully we can get a little bit beyond that being our feedback. And so, oh man, everything's okay. There we go. So looking at our agenda today, so we'll look at kind of the value of feedback, what maybe good feedback can look like. I have a couple tools that we will talk about. These are Google Chrome extensions. So if you are on the Microsoft side, if you are on like Seesaw, the beginning of this session will be right up your alley, but we will be moving on to specific tools that are Chrome apps or Chrome extensions. So if that doesn't kind of float your boat, feel free to stick around for the beginning. You can leave afterwards. You know, I'm not going to be offended if you don't stick around. But we will talk about these. They're just great ways to be able to give feedback. And what I want to do is kind of start off, and I'll drop this link in the chat. And my chat disappeared too. Where'd my chat go?
I can put it in there. I can pull it from your deck.
Cool. I got it right. You got it?
Okay. Yeah. There you go.
Oh, you got
Menti.
it. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a little Mentimeter. What struggles do you currently have with feedback? I think when I was in the classroom, I was that guy who would take papers and throw them in their backpack, and I would take them home and they would sit in my backpack, and then I would bring them back to school and they would stay in my backpack. And so that's probably not the most effective feedback that we have. So hopefully we can kind of learn some things today and not be a Corey and not repeat some of those issues. So I'm going to hop out of here. Oops. And let's see what we are getting as our results. And so I love Mentimeter. I think a lot of people don't use it correctly. They just use it and be like, "Oh, look, it's pretty." But I really want to use this to kind of be, where do I want to, what focus do I need to leave here? And I'm seeing time coming through here as like the big one. When do I have time to give feedback? I also notice another thing, right? Students don't read it. Who wants to read, right? And so the two options we're going to look at today are going to be using your voice. And we'll talk about some of the benefits of that. Let's see what else is popping through. Time, it's basically time and then like other stuff in there. But a lot of those other things all involve time. So definitely a theme coming through here. And then do kids do anything with it? I think that's probably the hardest thing, is that maybe when we give feedback, we don't do it right. And so as we jump in, let me go back into presentation mode. As we go in, I've got some kind of considerations to look at. And I will tell you, I am by no means the expert on feedback, but doing some research into John Hattie and a few other in the field of feedback, some of the things we found is don't wait until it's done, right? I think we fall into this trap that I am going to have my students, they're going to go write a paper, they're going to do it, they are going to finish it, they're going to give it to me. I give feedback on what to do next time. They're not going to do it next time, right? If I'm done with my paper and you give me feedback, I'm done with it. That feedback doesn't mean anything to me. That feedback needs to be timely. It needs to be right after I give it, but don't wait till it's done. I love the Google Suite, especially like Google Classroom, because I can send an assignment out. And if I go in and create that assignment and make a copy for each of my kids, I have immediate access to that document. I don't need to wait until they've finished it and turned it in to go give that feedback. So really think about getting in there and giving that feedback before it is, so that way they can actually have time to make those changes, right? And so keep it timely. Don't put it in your backpack. Take it back and forth to school, and that, because they need it, like I said, even before it's done. So those two kind of go hand in hand. Another thing, I would tell kids what to do. And I see teachers doing this all the time and going in and making the changes for the kids, right? If I go into a student's paper and I make that change for them, there's no feedback there. They're not getting to make that change. And so I even recommend not just, telling them what to do, but ask them, say, hey, I noticed there's some issues with this. How could you improve this? So really think about your feedback not being like, do this, but how can we make it better? Because one of the things for me is, and John kind of alluded to it in the keynote, with writing, right? Writing becomes very formulaic in the way it's taught, right? It's almost become like a fill in the blank. And that is the last thing I want my students to be able to do, because that is not writing at that point, right? If they're taking all these sentence frames that I have set up for them, sentence frames are great strategies and great scaffolds. But if that's the only way my kids know how to write, they're not writing. So ask them how it can be improved. Look for their voice in there. Also, keep feedback focused. Don't do an information dump like I'm doing to you right now. I am throwing a million things at you right now, and you're probably not going to take a whole lot of it away. But this is being recorded, so you can always come back to it. Plus, you've got the slide deck here. So keep it focused. If I throw 14 skills for my kids to work on, they're going to work on 0. Right? What are the 1, 2, maybe 3 things that I really want them to take away from this learning opportunity that they have? So keep it focused. I know it's hard as a teacher, right? Like I know I would get papers back when I was a kid. I was guilty of it. I would avoid using red ink. And so I used purple ink, and I would write all over my kid's paper. I don't care what color that writing is. As soon as a kid gets this writing back all over their paper, you kind of lost them, right? Think about the mindset a kid gets back in when they send writing in and all they get back is this pages and pages and pages of feedback, where I'm not going to read all that. I'm not going to change any of that. So keep it focused, kind of let things go a little bit. And really, what are you working on with that paper, with this assignment? What are the important things that need to be done? Okay. Peer feedback, I think, is great. Peer feedback, though, is always one of those things that would backfire in me. Like, here, just go take this paper and read it. This is where rubrics come in. Really, they're really important here. And I think the use of the single point rubric, if you're familiar with that, that works really well. Jennifer Gonzalez, Cult of Pedagogy, has a great blog on those features there. So think about, having some structures built into peer feedback. And this last one here is probably the least likely that anybody's going to be able to do. But think about, if a kid is only getting my voice for their feedback, that's going to be kind of a small sample set. So think about maybe switching your papers up with another teacher. Think about, I'll grade this assignment, you grade that assignment. So that way they're getting multiple voices coming in their feedback. Because I don't want that student's writing to sound like me. Do you do anything to help kids learn to accept feedback, Kim? That's a great question. And for me, like, everything I do within teaching always comes back to the relationships I build with kids. You got to have a classroom community for kids to be able to accept that feedback. If kids don't learn from teachers they don't like, right? The kid is going to be much more open when they know I listen to them. And I think one of the big things we need to do as teachers is accept feedback from kids. And so I think kids will be a lot more likely to accept your feedback when you accept their feedback as well. And I will tell you, it hurts sometimes getting feedback from kids. But I think that's one of the things, is building that relationship with that. If anybody has any other suggestions in how they build feedback, feel free to use the chat. This is not, hey, Corey knows everything and he's going to bring it. Like, the smartest person in the room is the room. So if you've got anything, I see Marilyn, thank you, is dropping some information in there. I think that's huge. So let's keep moving. So 3 things that John Hattie recommends when you give feedback, right? There's three questions. Where am I going? How am I going? Where to next? If you're not answering one of those 3 things, you're not really giving feedback. So when we're looking at where am I going, what is the end goal? Where do we want the kids to end up? What are they going to achieve? So a sample comment, right, would be, this would be a good place to use the academic vocabulary we talked about in class. Notice that comment didn't say, hey, you should use this word, right? And so when we're giving feedback, think about not spoon feeding everything. Think about how they can connect to what they're learning in class with that. How am I going? So what are the things I need to get where I'm going? So instead of saying, hey, use this color, maybe try adjusting colors in this part to make it easier. So, giving these subtle suggestions on how you're getting there. And then finally, where to next. So when your suggestions are fixed, what should I do next? So give them an idea. After you finish adding this part, check out the video to see what to do next. So if you're not giving those 3 questions to them, they can't answer that. They're probably not even going to realize they're getting feedback. All right, so the first tool I want to look at right now is Moat. And I know going through here, Kim, I'm going to call you out right now. I know Kim Vogie is a big fan of Moat. But it's the beautiful thing of Moat is it gives your voice feedback to students. So you can do text-based as well as part of the paid version. But I really think it's important that students can hear your voice, especially in this whole distance learning thing or hybrid, whatever you're in right now. It's really great for kids to be able to hear you, right? Because your voice brings tone. When I would mark up that purple ink all over that paper, there was no tone in there. It was just simply me coming in and giving blank responses, right? Whereas with Moat, I have tone behind my voice, right? So I can be kind and gentle and be able to be like, hey, you know what? I know your writing is this, but you know what? I still love you. I still care about you, as opposed to this just like disembodied text that is coming from me. But Moat integrates directly with Google. It helps build community, like I just mentioned, and it's available for both students and teachers. Moat won't work on an iPad because it is a Chrome extension, and Chrome extensions do not work on iPads. So looking at what Moat looks like, you'll be able to, once the extension's installed, I'll have a slide a little bit later. I'll give you some time to play. But if you click on the Moat icon, it will automatically start recording. So you click on it and it will record. And we'll look at, I'll run through a document, show you what this looks like to make sure you're clear on it. If you're on the paid version, which you'll get for like 30 days for free, if you wait till we get to the presentation a little bit later, I'll have a link for you that will give you 60 days for free. But otherwise, it's like $8 a year on it. But you can get transcripts as well. And so you can also edit those transcripts before those get sent out. And this is what the edit mode looks like. Here, you'll basically record your voice. It will go ahead and create that transcript, and you can edit as needed. One thing that's really cool is it does have Google Translate built right into it. So you can go ahead and have it translate into Spanish or some other language of your choice. It does also integrate directly with Google Classroom. So anywhere you see in the Google sphere, whether it's documents, classrooms, slides, if there's a place to make a comment, Moat will work in there. And so it's a matter of just clicking the Moat icon and being able to add it in. So it is both in the assignment view. And so what I think is really important here is in the assignment view, I can go ahead and give directions via Moat here. So instead of having to type out some long drawn out like text, I can just say via Moat, via my voice, I can give the directions. In addition, in the gradebook view, so once I've actually graded the assignment, I can also leave Moat responses there as well. So I think it's always like, I use voice to text as much as I can, like Siri and anything like that. I can use my voice a lot quicker. So this is one of those things that will definitely help speed up some of those responses. Looking at kind of like the free version versus the paid version, I will tell you, I think the free version will 90% of teachers will do fine with. The paid version works really well is when you want to have those voice transcriptions, and there is also something called STEM mode. So my math teachers, science teachers, this will basically take and annotate for you in like scientific notation, and it'll bring in a lot of those special symbols that you need as well. I believe on this slide, I have a link down in the notes that you can look at and see exactly what STEM mode gives us. And then this gives you an overall view of the free version versus the paid version. You can do just about anything with the free version except that transcription. And then it does limit you to 30 seconds in your voice messages. But if you really think about it, I don't want to leave too many messages that are longer than 30 seconds to my students. I can leave multiple 30-second bits on my document. So don't feel like you have to pay for it because you want to get more than those 30 seconds, because you can have like 3 different 30-second comments to your students. So what I want to do is there is a link here. If you want to click the link, it'll open up a new tab for you. Once again, this is a Chrome extension, okay? That it only works on Chrome. So if it will, the question came up a little bit earlier. Unfortunately, it will not work on iPads because iPads do not run Chrome extensions on there. So Chromebooks, Macs, PCs, you're gonna do fine on this. So if you click it, it will basically take you and walk you through go ahead and joining Moat. I'll give you a few moments to do that in a little bit. Here, the little note down here, if your students have the extension, if you have an IT department at your site or your district, they can actually push the Moat extension to your student's Chrome browser, okay? If they don't have it, they will get a link that will take them to an outside website. That is one of the nice things about having students get the extension as well. So if you can have that set up in your district, or your district allows students to add the extension, they'll see a play button right here in the presentation or in the document. If not, they'll see a link here that will take them outside of it. So let me jump into the next slide. So we're going to give you guys some time to practice, ask questions. I know I've got some Moat users in here, so definitely feel free to ask those questions. But I'm going to show you really quickly what this looks like in using it. So this is a forced copy document on feedback. So this is great if you have some extra reading time that you need to fill. So once this loads, you'll know you have Moat ready to go when you see this purple M up here at the top. If you don't see that extension loaded, you can always click on your extensions button, and you might see some extensions here that aren't pinned. So notice this little pin icon right here. This pin icon means it shows up, and if I don't want it, the pin icon can go away. Oops. Okay. So I know I've got Moat ready to go. And so I'm just going to go ahead and select the text that I want to give feedback on. And it doesn't have to be the specific text. I can just highlight really any text so I can give a comment. And my computer is running super slow right now. And I should get... normally, let me see, I don't think I'm wide enough right now. Let's push this over. Normally when I highlight text, let's see if it shows up now. There it is. Normally when I highlight text, you'll get this little menu that pops up over here where you can add comments or suggest edits. I'm going to go ahead and add a comment. And now I'm going to record a Moat. First time you go through, you're going to have to allow it to access your camera or your microphone. Oh, I have to sign in again. Apologies. Nothing more exciting than watching somebody sign in. during a presentation. All right. Let's try this again. Now I'm going to click here and it's going to start recording your voice automatically. So just know that there's no 3, 2, 1 countdown. You click that button and it's recording your voice. So be ready to have it listening to you. So once I have created my response, I'm going to click here. And I can always edit it if I need to. And it's going to start recording your voice automatically. So just know that there's no.
That's cool.
Okay. And so now it's recorded and I just put comment and I am done. So that's pretty much leaving a voice comment. Once that extension is loaded, anytime you log into Chrome and you're in one of those documents, it will be ready there for you. Now, this is a fairly new account on this particular user, but you can actually, if I click in to my account, this one, I forgot to get a slide in there, but I can actually go into this button right here, My Activity and Engagement. And what's beautiful about this is one of the problems I remember seeing is that my kids don't read it. My kids, they're not, how do I know if they've read it? Well, you have two options here. You've got your modist. That means somebody's read it. I don't have any modist. No one's listened to any of my responses here. And I can look at any of my unread responses. So this is great that I can actually go in here and see if it's been listened to at all. So that's a great way to know if kids are actually listening to my feedback. You'll also get a daily email as well that will give you a report.
Sorry, Corey, I was playing with this a little bit. Can you go back and show how to get to that dashboard?
Yep. So you're going to see your extension up here at the top. I click the extension and my computer's running super slow. There we go. And I go to My Activity and Engagement. And then you'll see either modist or unmodist here. So the cute little moat thing there instead of note with that. So, yep. So what I want to do, what time are we going till again?
Good question. Let me pull it back up. I forget. Let me see. 2:35. You got a little over 10.
It's been like a half an hour already. Okay. I'm going to give you guys 2-3 minutes. Get in there and play. Questions. And then anybody, like my moderators, I have not been able to keep up with this chat. There has been too much stuff flying in, which is awesome. But can it be used in Gmail too? I don't believe so because Gmail already has a voice to text component in it. With that, let me see anything else.
You've been answering a lot of these as you've gone.
Okay.
Yeah, you pretty much hit a lot of them.
That's how professional I am. I know what the questions are and I just answer them without seeing them.
There's one I'm not sure was answered. Does it alert students? Was that?
It doesn't alert students. Moat doesn't alert students, but if you want to bring their attention to anything, you can always go at, and then I don't have anybody. Oh, here we go. I can pick the person I want to notify, and then I can send them a reply here. They're outside of my network. I'm not going to worry about that. But yeah, if you at the person, that gives them an email that will notify them. Actually, if you at them and then assign it to them, it will send them an email that they need to come to the document. That's the easiest way that I know of to kind of get them back.
Pretty cool.
Corey, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
I use it just for me and students back and forth, just between me and the student. Have you ever used it where students are on a shared doc and they're using Moat with each other?
They could. It's since it's just extension based, I haven't dealt with that. But it is definitely something that they could use.
I know, I'm thinking about leveling up because now we're halfway through the year, just more responsibility, more independence, more trust. So I'm thinking about just after being here today, maybe leveling up and giving them as an option when they collaborate to use Moat, collaborate with. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's great. I think it comes down to your classroom culture and how the kids in your class are. I could see it going really well. I could see it going horribly wrong. Just knowing kids, it depends on the age of your kids. But since it is a Chrome extension, if the kids have the extension, there's nothing stopping them from using it. All right, so we got
I
about.
want the 60 days.
Yeah,
I keep using 30-day trials.
Yeah, you can just keep opening different accounts. Like you can have how many ever Gmail accounts and then just kind of keep going in there with the extra. What you can do, I should have done this on my other account. I have like a couple years on there because I've presented this a number of times. And so with a link, there's a sharing link that gives you an extra 30 days that actually, I did use that one. So it gives you an extra 30 days for the user as well as the sharer. So if you love it, share it and get people to sign up and you'll get extra 30 days. And it could just be, they're not listening. So but it could just be those extra email accounts you have. Like for Google, I have a lot of accounts. So have at it. Give yourself a few extra months with that. Okay. Back to the presentation. So we went through Moat. The other one I want to look at is Screencastify. And Screencastify is going to be a different spin here. And then the beauty of Screencastify is not only is it going to be your voice, but you're going to have the student writing here as well. So if you're not familiar with Screencastify, it is a screen recorder. You can use it, your students can use it. The free version gives you unlimited recordings up to 5 minutes. The paid version is an unlimited length of time. If you're giving kids feedback that's longer than 5 minutes, stop. Please stop. So in this case, the free version is going to be fine for you with this. So it's already built into Google. What I love about Screencastify is it takes the videos I create and it automatically drops them into Google Drive. So I don't have to go find it. I don't have to do anything. It's automatically uploading to Google Drive instantaneously. I think it's a great way to build community. Like I said, it's getting your voice in there. You're getting the kids getting to know you a little bit better. And it's a super simple interface. So there's some like how-tos here on how to get started. I'm not going to worry about that right now because I'm going to jump back into my feedback presentation and just give you a quick demo of what Screencastify looks like and how the feedback might look. So I basically click my extension. First time you use it, you're going to have to give permissions. And I should have used my regular account. I know I should have, but I wanted to use this one. All right. So allow.
Ooh, signing in.
Ooh, I know, it's fun. It's exciting. I'm so glad I'm recording this as well. Oh, goodness. I should have set this up ahead of time. Oh, goodness.
It's our brain break, Corey. We need it.
Feels good.
Exactly. This is what the fourth presentation you guys are at. I went through, made sure all my links were good, but I did not enable everything. All right. No thanks. Okay. So once I have actually set everything up, I can come back here. Once again, Chrome extension. I click right here and I select my microphone. Right. I can just my external here. You can embed a webcam. So if you want kids to see you while you're giving the feedback, you can have that. It's a great way to build community. It's up to you, though, how you want to do that. And then you can also either record the browser tab or the desktop. I never, ever, 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 ever record my entire desktop because there's way too much stuff going on. I've got notifications popping up left and right. So I just do the browser tab and I click record. And it should count down 3, 2. This gives you a warning. So now that it's counted down, I'm actually can go through the paper and go through and say, you know, I noticed right here, you use this. Think about what other academic language you can use, whatever the feedback is that you want to give with that. So I can go ahead and record. I can pause as needed. I highly recommend pausing because I'm an ummer. I don't know about you, but I a lot. And instead of taking the time to record my time to think, I would much rather take a break and start recording again. Down here at the bottom are your controls. And then once you are done, you can pause it and then end your recording. It's going to give you a preview of what you did. I don't need a tour. And so it's going to run you through here. There is minor editing that you can do. You can trim from the beginning and end. And if I want to see it, I press play. So what I really like about this is not only am I giving my verbal feedback, but I also have the subject that I'm talking about there as well. So once I'm done recording, you'll notice it's already in Google Drive. I don't have to say, send this to Google Drive. It's not on my computer and I upload it. You'll see it's got a shareable link. I copy the shareable link and it's done. It's copied, ready to go. So all I would do now is I would go back into my document and I would give a new piece of feedback, add my comment. And here I could say at Joe Marie, I think you're in here. I'm going to assign this to you. And there is your feedback and assign. There you go. You're going to get sharing. You're going to get comments on this as well. All right. So now this was sent to Joe Marie. And now she can go in and she can watch the video. It doesn't embed it directly in, so it's not as nice as like students having the extension with Moat. But now they can go in and actually watch me go through their paper and give them the feedback in different parts. There are some basic annotation tools in there as well. So that way you can bring their attention, you can draw on it and such. So that's, yeah, I know, 2 minutes. So those are the basic tools with that. Any questions? And like I said, I'm not going to have all the answers here. The room is definitely smarter than I am. Did I miss any questions, my team of moderators?
I don't think so.
If you've got a question, unmute your mic, talk to me. I love hearing voices in my head besides my own.
Teresa, are you talking to us? You're on mute. I don't think she's talking to us.
I had one quick question about Moat. Oh, sorry, you can go.
Sorry. I'm just waiting for time to practice. So I've got a couple things open on my computer to see what I can do with. So I'm going to give it a shot. So thank you very much, Corey.
Absolutely. And if you have any questions, if you're on Twitter, reach out to me on Twitter. Send me a DM. I will be glad to help out. I'll go back to this slide. There's my Gmail. I just started this Gmail, but I want to make it more normally accessible. So definitely feel free to email me. If I don't get back to you right away, I'm just not in the habit of checking this one yet. What other questions do we have?
Got nothing in here.
Nothing else.
Brent and I practiced this thing. It's pretty cool. You could, the dashboard's awesome. You could see who listened to what. Moatable.
It was Moatable. Thanks, Brent.
I just had a quick question about Moat. I don't know if you can answer this, but is there any way, like, I think we've all experienced, like, I can think of examples when like the same, like 3 kids, you know, like when we're doing claim evidence reasoning, for example, it's like, where's your reasoning would be like my feedback. Like, is there any way to like put the same voice note multiple times. Say like if you're like, okay, I'm tired of recording the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, there is a Moat book. I haven't used it, but I think it is one of the paid features, I believe, where instead of just when I press down the Moat button, I hold it down, and then I can access my Moat book, which is like recorded versions. I didn't like I said, I'm not real familiar with it, so I don't want to,
Okay,
throw it in
just
there.
wondering. Thank you.
Does anybody use Moat book? We've got like 8 seconds.
Well,
Oh, I'm going to tell you the most amazing thing about Motebook. It's so cool.
Right, Jorge, you can't do a breakout within a breakout.
That's correct.